Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Harmonics. Today's guest is Odell Robinson, one of the great bassists and just a genius in my mind here for what he does. I'm going to talk to Odell about his life and what got him into music. And Odell, it's a pleasure to see you today.
It's great to be here with you, Gregory. You know, we've been working hard to make this day happen, and it's finally here.
I feel so blessed to have someone like you to be on my show. We've talked and it actually came to be what we wanted to do. So we're going to do this for you and for us and for all the people that have seen you and who actually knows who you are. But let's go back a little bit into your past and when you were young. What really got you into music? How did you start? When did you start?
That's funny. If I got to go way back.
Go ahead.
And so, you know, I come from a home. My mom and dad, there was soul music in the house every morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, radio and albums and records and such. But the thing that really got me going, one of the things that really got me going, my next door neighbor came home. I was in the third grade and she was in the fourth grade. And she came home one day and she had a clarinet. And she's walking around tooting her little clarinet around. I'm like, whoa, what is that? Where'd you get that from? And she said, oh, I'm in the band now and I'm playing clarinet. I said, hey, can I try that? And she's like, oh, no, you can't touch my clarinet.
Interesting.
Yeah, so she's like, you could join the band next year when you're in fourth grade. And so that whole year, that's all I could think about, you know. And I finally got to join the band. I got a clarinet, and then I got a trumpet, then I got a baritone horn, and a trump. I just ran the gamut of the whole orchestra, trying out different instruments, and that's pretty much what got me going, you know. And I wound up landing on bass guitar.
Wow. So let me ask you, because I know you have a disability, which is just an amazing thing. Were you always blind?
No.
Oh,
No, I had started losing my eyesight in 2017. You know, I had some health issues, and one day I just couldn't see out of one of my eyes, and then you know, my ophthalmologist was like, "Oh, you need to get some cornea transplants," and probably 7 or 8 transplants later, I'm still battling this situation.
oh,
But it's not slowing me down, you know.
obviously not.
No, I can't let it, man. I mean, if I
Exactly.
did, you know, if I did, we wouldn't be talking right now, and
Exactly.
we wouldn't be pursuing music as we do.
So, you know, who were some of your inspirations and why did you take to the bass?
Well, those are two separate questions.
Yes.
And so, inspiration-wise, man, I got too many inspirations to count. You know, I'll tell you, my current inspiration is in that other room somewhere. His name's Sean Bivens, and he's quite the inspiration musically and spiritually. And you know, really, music-wise, so many different bass players, so many different musicians overall. If I named one, you know, he'd be number 1 for right now, and then next week he'd be number 10.
That's
you know,
great. That's good.
yeah, but just so many different inspirations musically.
You know, when talking to you on the phone, you're such an inspiration to me to make me a better musician and a great singer. You just have that positiveness. What every day for you, what does it mean every day with music? You're doing your own compositions. Tell me who inspires you to do all of this? Is this just coming out of your head? The members that you're playing with? You know, that's kind of a long thing, but what inspires you to do what you still do?
I think lately, you know, I mean, you're a musician, I'm a musician, and we creation is our thing.
Exactly.
You know, and sometimes that creation is divinely inspired,
God bless.
and other times you're just working at it, you know, working at something. My divine inspirations are few and
Far between.
far between these days. That doesn't mean I'm not divinely inspired in other ways, but musically, you know, musically nothing's coming down the pipe these days. And when that happens, I look for inspiration from other people.
Interesting.
You know, again, you know, this probably won't be the last time I say this guy's name, but Sean Bivens is quite the musical inspiration, and because of the way he's presenting and writing songs these days, it inspires me to dive into my instrument, to dive into being a bass player again, because when you're creating and being a songwriter, you know, you're not necessarily just thinking about, okay, how do I play the bass on this song?
Right.
You know, you're thinking about, you know, chords, and arrangements, and structures.
What key you're playing.
What key, you know, you're thinking about guitar parts, keyboard parts, you know,
Yes.
how do the drums sound in this song, so on and so forth. These days, I'm really focused on just my instrument and how to apply my instrument to whatever song I'm playing on. And that inspiration, that song has been coming from Bivens as of late, because his songs are very inspirational, to say the least.
What makes it that way? How does it make it that inspiration like that?
Well, because, you know, our group, Jet Black Onyx, is divinely inspired. You know, I'm not saying we're, you know, church choir type music, but lyrically, Sean writes very inspirational type of lyrics. You know, lyrics that make you think about, you know, spirituality and human behavior, so to speak.
Right.
So that's where that comes from.
Wow, that's interesting. So you have spiritualness and also just commonality together.
Absolutely. Yes.
And so when you're playing your music, obviously you're probably playing in different keys, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what is and probably your keys even change while the song is, because your some of your stuff is pretty dynamic, especially when I've seen it on the Collective. Dude, I was like amazed at these guys.
That's a whole different story right there.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So how did that all begin with the Collective?
Okay. The Collective, there's this cat that I came across on the interwebs, Facebook in particular, and his name is Stephen Oran. Stephen Oran. And, you know, I mean, probably about 7, 8, 9 years ago, I came across one of his videos on Facebook, and it was rather funny video, because it was animated, and it was about
Really?
it was animated video, and it was about basically it was about man and woman relationships.
Okay.
You know, and it was how, you know, this guy was like, he'd go in the kitchen and leave a mess, and his girl would come in and just start frowning because she'd see the mess that he left, and he'd go over here and leave some other kind of mess, or do this man and woman dynamic. But it was very good, a very cool song. And then he came out with this other video about 5 or 6 years ago called Black American Girls. And in this one,
Great title.
yeah, well, yeah. And he, in this video, he got some very internet popular black women to appear in his video, and they were all musicians, you know. So there was a couple of Gabby from Tulips was in it, and a couple of other gals, and they were just killing it. You know, guitar players, a drummer and bass player, and he sings and plays guitar, and so it was very cool. And so I saw that video, and it just got me thinking for many years. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to contact this cat. And so I contacted Stephen Oran, and I was like, hey man, you know. I always loved that Black American Girls video. How you had all those cameos from all those quasi famous chicks, and and I always wanted to do something with you, man. I always wanted to do, just record something with you,
Right,
do a
right.
video, whatever.
Right.
And I said, yeah, why don't we? He's like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I'd like to do something along the lines of that Black American Girls, except this time we'll do it with dudes. And he's like, oh, okay, I feel you on that. And so then he's like, well, let me check some things out. And he called these cats, man. He called these cats, and only one of the cats I knew, a guy named Frankie Blaze.
Oh, Frankie Blaze.
Frankie Blaze used to play in this band called JD's Revenge, and they had this track called Clark Kent out.
Superman.
And, oh, exactly, exactly. And it was. I guess it was a local hit in his area or something, And so he calls Frankie Blaze, and then he calls this other guy named Eric, and then he calls this guy named Kent Wade, right? And he says, I'm going to call this one other guy and see if he comes. And I said, well, why don't you leave a space for me? I'm going to get my boy to join us on this. His name's Art, and he's actually Artie C from Jet Black Onyx.
Okay.
And he says, all right. And so we just did the internet thing. Everybody recorded their tracks,
Yes.
filmed their tracks, sent them all to him. And he did the producer thing and produced it and mixed it and directed it and the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, we got this thing, and it's called The Collective.
Man, unbelievable players in there, and it spanks, it shines, it has all the elements of who are these guys. That's what somebody should be looking at.
That's, you know what, that's the whole thing about it, because before you actually see the guys, you see the guitars and you hear the guitars,
Right.
and they're all shredding. They're all shrieking and shredding.
Woo.
Doing all that guitar testosterone type thing.
Absolutely.
They're doing all that stuff, man. And yeah, it's like, oh man, that's what it's about
It's
right there.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
And it's a brotherhood thing
Yeah,
too.
God bless all of that.
That's
man.
right.
Exactly. And that's almost when I look at that, I'm saying to myself, why ain't these guys on big stages? And so should be looking at these gentlemen that are they're just great. You know what I mean? You guys are just great. The sound is great. But a lot of people in the music world can't handle that either. Especially the people that want to at the top who want to make just money.
Right.
I think they're missing geniuses right in front of them that they should be using, and let people see that, because we don't see what you see when you see shows or Grammys. They only show the winners. Hey man, there's some other people that they're just as great or greater than what they're seeing on TV. It's different.
In the case of the Grammys and these award shows, they don't even show all of the winners anymore.
Nothing.
They just show you the popular winners.
Thank you.
know?
And that's sad.
Yeah,
That
it
is really a sad situation, because I think they should. They don't show the blues guys. They don't show reggae. They don't show progressive rock.
They don't even show jazz anymore.
Jazz, I know, and that's where it all began, man. Come on,
yeah.
when you look back into history, it even goes further than that. I mean, the field haulers, how you doing, brother? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what is the direction that you're going on? You talked about Sean. So what is the direction that you guys are going to be going? I mean, it seems like you have a lot of different musicians that you work with, and it seems like you're the one that moves around, and like how you just did. You just talked about how you met a guy on Facebook, and you guys did this collective thing. How does that? What is it? What's the next step, I should say?
Well, I don't know about the next step, but probably for the last, probably since my whole eyesight thing, I've been doing. When my eyesight thing happened, I was in the process of recording an album, and I finished recording the album. It had like, I don't know, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11 songs on it. I can't remember.
Nice album.
Yeah. And it had many musicians from around the world on it. People that I contacted, just like Stefan Moran, like, hey, hi, I'm Odie and I play bass, and oh yeah, and I give them something to listen to. Oh yeah, I like that. I'll be on your album, and other people that I got with, and I actually had to plunk down a couple of dollars with. People need to make money, and so. After I was done with that album, I realized, well, I don't think I'm going to do another full album for the time being. I think I'm just going to put out a song a year.
That's beautiful too.
Part of that is because it was taking almost a year to get one song done. I mean, just like this interview. I mean, been at this for almost 2 years. I think.
Yes.
And it's like I've said this a jillion times. People got jobs. People got families. People got things they got to do, and you could just hope to get on somebody's calendar, and say, okay, we're going to meet on this day at this spot here. Let's hope that let's hope it's God's will and this really happens.
Amen.
So as far as the next thing I'm going to do, right now the only thing I'm thinking about is Jet Black Onyx. I mean, I got some things to do after Jet Black Onyx.
I love that name.
Yeah, sort of. It just real quick, the name comes from. I used to play an online game called City of Heroes, and you go. You log on to this game, and you're logged on with people from all around the world.
Right.
And I used to run around with a couple of cats from Canada. And one of the guys' names was Jet Black Onyx. That was the name of his character. And I was like, you know what? That is the greatest name, dude. One of these days, if I ever start my own band or anything, I'm gonna use that name for my band. And I don't think dude ever really got that message. Like I don't think he ever really heard me, you know. So I'm gonna say right now, his name. I'm gonna say his full
Sure,
name.
why not?
His full name is Stefan Pavlik, and he's from Canada. And Stefan, wherever you are, if you're listening, thank you so much. You know, I guess I didn't exactly ask you if I could use the name, but I'm giving you props. And I hope that flattery is a compliment in your world as it is in mine.
Wow, man, that's really nice to say to him, and I hope he does get in contact with you. So we've already been on the air for a while, and this is going to be on our TV show, and you'll be able to hear it on on YouTube, and you'll be able to hear it. It's a blessing, 2 years it took us to do this, and with the obstacles and all the other things, man, it is an honor to be in your presence, to be who you are. How you look at the world is how I look at the world. It's, brother, God bless you.
Same to you, brother.
And I love who you are and how you talk on the phone. We've talked a long time together. Thank you so much for coming on Harmonics. And if you want to say something to everybody, if this is the last word before we close the deal.
I just want to shout out our host today, RN Sound, for letting us do this interview here in the studio, and shout out all my past and present and future bandmates. You all know who you are, and my girl. Gotta thank my girl for driving me down here today.
Yes, yes.
She hates driving. She hates driving in this part of the world, and yeah, God bless everybody. Praise God.
Praise God. Well, this is Gregory Correa from Harmonics, and I just finished my interview with a great man, Odell Robinson. Watch for his name. God bless everybody. Peace and love.
Peace and love.